Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're exploring something that honestly sounds a bit like science fiction. We are looking at a digital ecosystem that is highly advanced, yet entirely trapped. It's the fascinating paradox of North Korea's physical and digital isolation. It is literally a parallel universe where millions of people are scrolling on smartphones, just like us, yet they are completely 100% separated from the global internet as we know it.
Okay, let's dive into this. How exactly do you browse the web in the world's most isolated country? It's a compelling mystery, isn't it? I mean, we're talking about navigating technology in a hermetically sealed state, a place where the flow of information is guarded just as fiercely as the physical borders themselves.
So, picture this reality for a second. We are talking about a thriving digital ecosystem. We've got e-commerce, video streaming, even recent rollouts of 4G mobile networks. But there's a huge catch. It is completely cut off from the rest of the planet. North Korean citizens are out there using state-approved smartphones to shop and watch shows, living a modern reality that feels super familiar, yet profoundly alien because it exists entirely within a closed loop. Now, to really understand this digital fortress, we have to trace the physical borders of their isolation. It's like a giant puzzle. Korea was divided at the 38th parallel back in 1945, right after World War II. Then, in 1950, the devastating Korean War broke out. That ended in 1953 with an armistice that established the Demilitarized Zone, or the DMZ. And that physical partition, that literally set the stage for everything that followed. And the post-war reality? Man, it was unimaginably bleak. The war caused a staggering 75 to 90% drop in economic output compared to 1949. Bombing destroyed almost all of the country's infrastructure, basically leveling any substantial buildings. This absolute physical devastation, this collective trauma, became the bedrock for a radical new national philosophy, one built entirely on total self-preservation. Out of that rubble came a guiding political principle called Juche. Introduced by the state's founder Kim Il-sung, Juche is the ideology of absolute self-reliance and independence from the outside world. And listen, understanding this intense ideological drive to be completely independent, that is the only way we can make sense of North Korea's modern tech strategy. It's not just politics, it's basically the DNA of their entire society. And this brilliantly illustrates how deeply ingrained this mindset became. Just look at this 1962 party plenum slogan, arms in one hand and a hammer and sickle in the other. It shows how the state focused entirely on militarized self-preservation and internal control right out of the ashes of war. They literally put the country on a semi-war footing, preparing to survive completely on their own, absolutely no outside help. So here's where it gets really interesting. There is a direct, fascinating thematic parallel between their physical past and their digital present. After 1953, the physical rebuilding literally took place underground. We're talking homes, schools, and factories built beneath the earth to hide from perceived threats. Fast forward to the 2000s, and we see the exact same philosophy applied to digital construction. Air-gapped servers, internal routing, and a completely blocked global web. They essentially built a digital bunker. And you know what? This digital bunker actually has a name, Kwangyang. Launched in the early 2000s and managed by the Korea Computer Center, Kwangyang translates to bright light. It is the modern digital incarnation of Juche. It's a national internet service completely air-gapped from the World Wide Web, which ensures nothing comes in and absolutely nothing goes out without state approval. Let's move to and see how this builds on a technical level because the network architecture is fascinating. Kwangyang uses private IPv4 addresses in the 10.0.0.0/8 range. Okay, so what does that actually mean? Well, to put that into perspective, it means this entire national network functions exactly like a giant corporate local area network, or LAN. It uses the exact same architecture your office might use to keep its internal files private from the open internet, just scaled up to cover a whole country. Crazy, right? Now, what's really interesting about this number is the sheer scale of their internet compared to what we are used to. While the global internet has billions of websites, Kwangyang is estimated to have only around 5,000 highly controlled sites. That's it. It's a tiny, curated, walled garden that provides just enough utility to satisfy the population without ever exposing them to unvetted global information. But inside that walled garden, there is a bizarre sense of normalcy. They've built parallel, state-controlled equivalents for major global services. For instance,
Ninera acts as an internal search engine, basically their local equivalent of Google. Then you have Mamelsong and Okrio handling e-commerce and online shopping, kind of like a local Amazon. And get this, they even have an IPTV video streaming service called Manbang, which is essentially their version of Netflix.
But getting online? Oh, it is an absolute ordeal. You don't just buy a router and plug it in, no way. First, a citizen has to purchase a government-approved device. Then they have to pass a local government inspection just to have that hardware in their home. Only then can they even attempt to connect via dial-up, their 3G or 4G mobile networks, or the newer Mirahai Wi-Fi service in Pyongyang. It is immense bureaucratic friction just to get online.
Once they jump through all those hoops, what are they actually doing online? Well, things that are remarkably human. Daily life on Gwangyang includes streaming Manbang TV via set-top boxes, ordering goods on Manmulsong, or playing a super popular mobile game called Boy General. They do online dating, browse recipes on culinary sites, or even take remote tele-education classes at Kim Il-sung University. Just everyday stuff.
But human nature always finds a way to surprise us, doesn't it? Back in 2006, something truly incredible happened. Around 300 internet users organized a real-world meetup, essentially a flash mob, at the Pyongyang Gymnasium to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Nayanara portal. And they organized the whole shebang entirely through Gwangyang chat rooms. Well, unsurprisingly, the state was totally spooked by this unmonitored human connection, so they immediately shut down all chat rooms on the network for several years. So the crucial point is the fundamental difference in purpose between these two systems. The global internet was designed for unvetted information exchange and open borders. The Gwangyang network, on the other hand, is designed for filtered content, isolated data, and absolute state monitoring. It mimics the convenience of global connectivity, sure, but it's actually the ultimate tool for centralized control. And why this matters today is that this surveillance is only getting more aggressive. In 2022, the government started mandating the installation of a specific Gwangyang app on all cell phones. Now, this software does way more than just connect you to state news. It actively tracks user locations and continuously scans devices to see if they're accessing illicit foreign content. The modern convenience of a smartphone comes at the ultimate cost: total state visibility. Which brings us to the ultimate tension of this parallel universe. As 4G mobile networks expand in a hermetically sealed state, what happens when the innate human desire to connect collides with the state's rigid mandate to isolate? It's a digital tightrope walk between providing modern technology and maintaining total control, and it's a dynamic that will absolutely shape the future of North Korea. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I really hope you found this deep dive as fascinating as I did.